Right, everyone, WeaponCollector here. Right, might have a different first person on today because they may be at work because this is the Dossers daytime stream. Right, I'm just going to put on a little advert, 30 seconds long, while I set up the channel so I can see it how I want to see it. Right, you might be getting a bit of feedback there. Right, Lord Flasher. Right, Gas Goblin. Right, just setting this up so I can have it how I want it. Right, you might be getting a bit of feedback there. Right, edit video. That's it. Right, sorry for insulting you all by calling you all Dossers. So who was first? I just come back from the doctors. So Lord Flasher, Gas Goblin, Johnny Tom, Nick Knives. Right, how are you? Yeah, I've been having that pain in my side still. Yeah, funny thing is though, I went to the doctor's today and the actual pain was nearly gone. It's that weird old thing. I rang up fucking 111 yesterday. Hurting like fuck. It seemed worse than normal. You know, all the usual bollocks. And by the time you actually get a fucking doctor's appointment, which is actually only the next day, I feel quite a lot better. But it does seem to be getting better now. So I'm quite tired. Yeah, he said there's nothing internally wrong with me. What I probably did when I originally hurt myself was he reckons I've torn a muscle in my stomach. And now doing certain things brings it back. Because it does. I can tell it's the exact same thing as I did originally. Because it's the exact same pain. But not as bad. So it's coming back quite, not easily, but if I do certain things, it comes back. M. Through, he said hello from Ohio. Nice one, mate. Good to see you on. Nice to see Americans on. What time is it where you are? I suppose that could be 7 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? 6:30, isn't it? Gas Goblin said I've got a week off work. Dog bit my finger. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, that's all right. Lord Flashshot said I'm on annual leave. Am I allowed in this stream? Yes. Yeah, you don't have to be a dosser, but it helps. Right, Peach. Yeah, good news, really. A little bit annoying that it could keep coming back, but I suppose what I'll do this time, now I know that it's not nothing like internally, I ain't got nothing, you know, I was worried I had something actually wrong with there's loads of things you can have wrong with you if you have these symptoms. Like, you know, you can have like a twisted bowel and that, and some of that shit can be very serious. Yeah, he reckoned, he's checked me all over physically. He said there's no sort of, because I think if you've got something like a hernia in it, they can feel it. So they do all that. He said there's none of that, which the other doctor said actually. So that's two doctors have said nothing. It's not that. Yeah, he said he reckons I probably tore a muscle in the original injury, and now every time I do I even told him it was doing sword cutting. It was an old Indian bloke. He told me how old he was because I said, "Oh, maybe it's just getting older, it's taking longer to heal." And he said, "Getting older, I'm 75." Yeah, an old 75-year Indian bloke. But yeah, he seemed good, and he done. Yeah, so yeah, it's good news. It's nothing serious. But it does mean potentially I may have to not do any sword cutting for quite a while. But good news on that front, the shooting competition will be coming up soon anyway. So I can just concentrate on the shooting competition for the sort of extra content. Matt THX, right, mate? He's all right, Mike. I'm actually at work on a canal having a sky. Nice one. That's right. Where's the trigger, right, mate? I'm staying at home. I'm a stay-at-home dad Tuesdays. Can I join in? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Technically, I'm working right now. So I'm, yeah. Sorry for calling you all dossers. I like calling it things like that in the day. Just see who's on. Right, Stu. How you doing, mate? Alex Saint, you're right. Stokey, you're right. Oh, by the way, I'll only be on till 1 o'clock because I've got to do something at 1. But yeah. For anyone who's just come on, good news on the injury front that I've got. I don't know how many of you know. I keep getting this pain in my fucking side. And I was worried because sometimes when it comes on, when you first initially get the injury or whatever, the pain, it hurts to shit in that. So I wondered if it was something internal. Turns out it wasn't. The doctor today reckons I've probably torn a muscle in my stomach. And now every time I do certain things, I bring it back again. Wizard Triggers, I'm glad you're okay, bud. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Tactical says, shit, it's Friday. Boy, how time flies. Yeah, you imagine. How you doing, Tactical? Yeah, I'm muggy as fuck. It is here. Gas Goblin said I should be working at a KFC soon. Too lazy for factory work. So, yeah, it is good news. Thank you, Stu. Yeah, good news. It ain't nothing serious. It's a pain in the ass that it might keep coming back potentially, but at least I know it's just an injury and nothing inside me. You know, like bad, you know, I ain't ripped my fucking bowels or something or twisted my bowels, because that shit can be very serious and you have to have emergency fucking operations. That's why I rang up 111 yesterday, because I felt like crap. I think it was just a combination of feeling like crap, must have been doing something to bring the pain back on, and I had a bit of a funny coloured shit. But I reckon it was just from being dehydrated. Is the stream all right? I've got a notification saying connection unstable. Hang on. I reckon my wire's playing up a bit. Die Bullfrog, how you doing, mate? You right? You right, Uncle Al? Yeah, nice to see you on. Rich, nice to see you on, mate. That's a good news on your gut, mate. Yeah, just be careful. Yeah, I reckon I'm just going to have to stop. I'm going to have to stop doing the sword cutting. But luckily, the shooting competition's coming soon, so I can just concentrate on that. Matt said, glad it's not bad, Mike. Thank you. Nick said, if it becomes a pain in the ass, you've got a real problem. Well, that's the thing. Initially, yeah, funny thing is, initially, it is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass and a pain in the stomach. But yeah, he reckons I've just ripped a fucking... ripped the muscle in my stomach the initial time, and now the 2 times it's come back is just because it hasn't healed properly. Or it's, you know what I mean. If you've got a ripped muscle, it's probably going to flare up pretty easily, isn't it? Gas Goblin said he'll be having all... You're going to nick all the chicken from KFC, are you? Johnny Tom said, hurts to shit. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah, definitely. They are, literally. Alex says, saw a pistol crossbow. I think it's the Cobra. 20 quid plus 5 quid shipping, I think. Is it worth it? It's worth it for 20 quid, but I'll be honest with you, all of those old style crossbows are quite outdated now. If you can afford it, I would go for something like the Redback, the Tomcat 2, or the Tron. But they are double the price, at least. But yeah, they're worth it for 20 quid. But they're quite outdated now, the older style ones. But they still work. The only thing they lack is power. Oh, I saw something the other day. Actually, you know, we sometimes have a little moan about George Spraff's prices. I saw him comment on someone's video the other day that actually really fucking disappointed me in George Spraff. I thought, for a fucking YouTuber like you, that's, I think, unacceptable what he wrote. I'll tell you in a second. But I was looking through YouTube. I'll just read the rest of the comments. Nick said lagged for a bit. Yeah, I was getting some warning. I reckon. I think one of my wires is slightly faulty. Alex said, glad you're okay. Thank you. Wizard Trigger said, well, Saint, I've just bought the same. It's good for the money. Yeah, it's good. They are good for the money. 120 quid. They're great for that. It's just, yeah, I wouldn't pay no more than that. George Sprav, right? I was actually disappointed seeing him write a comment like this for the size of his channel. And some of you may not agree with me, but I was looking through crossbow videos and I found a bloke who has got one of those new compound, the new compound crossbows, compound pistol crossbows. You know the one? It's a new one. And he's put a magazine on it. And you just pull the string back, pull it, and I thought, bloody hell, what a good, clever bloke, and that's what I would say to this bloke. I'd say, what a good idea, very clever. All he did as well, he didn't even do like a proper magazine. Like, not when I say proper magazine, he didn't need to. He just put some like bars of metal going around, like hoops of metal. They hold the bolts in. Really good concept, actually. George Sprav pretty much wrote a comment saying, that's no good. It's got no power. It's not as good as my Stinger 2, and my my instant legless is better. The fucking instant legless isn't even a crossbow. You can't even compare a bow to a crossbow. I just thought it was very unfair of him, where he should have wrote, what a good thing, what a good invention you've done. You know, I really respect that. I'm very disappointed reading that. Him basically going on someone's channel, some small channel who's got like undersubscribers, pretty much saying that the thing they made was shit, when it fucking wasn't. Smith Him's right, mate. But yeah, that disappointed me. I thought, you know, fucking hell, we shouldn't be writing things like that. But yeah. With a trigger said, when WeaponCollector gets his sizzle together and makes some bayonets, when my gut stops fully hurting, I'll be honest with you, that is actually the truth. It put me off a bit. Yeah, I will be getting around to them though with a trigger. And like Saint said, I have people who think they're better than, people who think they're better than everyone. George's fast becoming the German SSW. Stu said, what a prick. Probably doesn't want people exposing how overpriced his shit is. Yeah, I thought that was a very disappointing thing for him to write. The size of his channel should not be going on little channels and writing things like that. You know, he should have just give that bloke a fucking massive compliments and you know, big him up for fucking making something like that. Not oh, that's no good and it's weaker than my instant legless. That's not, you can't even compare a fucking bow to a crossbow. Completely different things. Lord Flashout said, George don't take criticism though. He's probably in it to make the money. It was a shit, you know. I'll always have a bit of respect for George. You know, Jorg Sprav. He's done some decent things, but at the same time, it's a shame he don't know how to fucking. And that bloke was probably a massive fan of his as well. Because most people are who make anyone who's into making crossbow magazines and that are massively into George Sprav. What's the bloke's channel? I can't actually remember. It wasn't an English channel. Put it that way, because I had to take George Sprav's message and put it in a translator. Because I was only out of curiosity. I saw this bloke's crossbow. And I thought, fucking, that's brilliant. What a good idea, you know. So I thought, I'll look in the comments, see what other people are saying. It was all like German or something or whatever. So I thought, and then I saw George Sprav. I thought, fucking hell, that's, you know, he's got George Sprav commenting on it. Obviously couldn't read it, so I done a translate. Yeah, and then it come up with what I said. And I thought, oh, that's fucking really, really fucking disappointing, that is. Matt said, was the pistol crossbow the new supersonic 300 foot-pound one? It's about 200 quid. I think so, but then I don't think they're all that kind of price. But yeah. That's still cheaper than George Sprav's new one. Well, and his old shitty one, to be honest. Yeah, it's a shame, really. I didn't expect to see that. I hopefully will have a really good video coming soon for the little clips I play on here. If I can get, I've had to ask someone permission, but it's one of the people we Nick said, I suppose there's a chance something was lost in translation in his comments. Could be, but when it didn't look like it. It was, some of it was very sort of obvious. That's not as powerful as my instant legless. It's slower than my, you know what I mean? It was, some of it was pretty obvious. There was a couple of little bits that could have been, you know, not sure, but it seemed really obvious to me. But I suppose there's a small chance, but I doubt it. Right, all right, mate. Yeah, there's my little moan today. Alex Saint, I remember seeing some guy making a homemade knife out of a file. And the amount of hate was mental, all because he wasn't experienced. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? I've never understood why people are like that. Fuck, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what I was looking up. I think I was just looking up that crossbow, whatever it's called. To be honest, though, that new compound crossbow is probably worth 200 quid because of how it's not just, they ain't just got you know, there's a lot in it. It's not just you know, whacking an extra bit of plastic on something. You know, it is basically a shortened down, it's a proper compound made into a pistol, essentially. Billy Sykes, right, mate? Good to see you on. Nick said, yeah, if it's just a comment like that, they're not an absolute cunt of a thing to comment. The bloke, I think I can't remember if I translated his replies to it. But yeah, I personally took it in a way that I thought that was a totally unnecessary thing to write. You know what I mean? Should have just bigged him up and said, what a good idea. Brad said, I was bushcrafting yesterday. On Thursday, I'm going to sleep in the woods. I'll make a simple shelter in a Dakota fire. Ah, nice one. That would be good, especially in this kind of weather. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's hot as fuck here, so it's probably up where you are. Support Mike's hernia belt. I'd need maybe I'll tell you what would probably work. Great big fucking weight belt. It's about that wide. Put that right round my fucking gut. Just hold it in. That might give me a bit of support. I could probably still do some light cutting. By the way, I haven't got a hernia. Anyone? They checked me for that. That's twice I've been checked for hernias, and they both said no, there's no hernias. Iron Man said it's so cunty not today. I thought I woke up in now. I'll tell you what, Iron Man. When I woke up, it was like that as well. And I came out of my room thinking, isn't that bad. When I came back in, I couldn't hardly fucking breathe. You know when the air is just so hot and stuffy? I couldn't fucking breathe. So I had to open all my fucking windows. I never understood haters. If you don't like something and it isn't hurting you, why waste your time? Exactly. Yeah. If I start watching a video on YouTube I don't like, I'll just fucking stop watching it. And in some case moan about it later. Joking. Joking, not joking. Law Flash said that elitism in certain communities. Some folk are in it to be arseholes and they think they know it all rather than enjoying the subject and having a laugh. Like mates in the bar. Exactly. And I'll tell you the other thing. You should always try and help the beginners in things as well. I read a weird little comment on something the other day about that. About how there be sort of experienced people in like communities and that, and they just fuck off all the little, all the new people coming in. Oh, that's shit, that's no good. My stuff's better. Instead of encouraging them, which is what you should do, isn't it? Yeah, I totally agree with that, Lord Flash. Nobody said, are your background weapons a picture? No, they're not. Well, they are and they're not. Here, I'll show you. Watch this video. I hope you saw that. They are really behind there, but there's new rules on YouTube where you're not allowed to handle firearms on live streams. So I covered them up so that they can't get me with any of their rules and I can still have, weapons. Richard, I said before, it's about the same power as a compound Cobra R9, but nearly 200 quid. Yeah. I think, but 200 quid cheaper. Yeah, I think it's pretty mental for what it is. It sounds a lot for a pistol, but it's more than just your standard pistol, isn't it? I'll carry on about that video I said in a minute. Right, I did my custom knife's showing it. Yeah, my custom knife showing how great it is. It can chop down an oak branch in 7 hits. Unfortunately, during the chopping, a lot of ants started climbing up me and I got bitten like a glass, for fuck's sake. Then he said, hot as fuck. I'm sweating like a glass, but I was an arsehole. I love saying that. Stu said, if the guy starts selling them, at least the tagline can be, the mag that George doesn't want you to see. Yeah, exactly. I'll have to tell him that. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? But there you go. No, what it is, nobody. It's a law that they've brought in, but the stuff is actually really there. Tactical said this stream is shit. I'm gonna have to play 2 for that though.
I don't have to take this abuse much longer.
And
You're not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I'll show you what, Lord Flash. He said it's a king size duvet cover. I could probably sort that out into a duvet cover or a bed sheet. Alex Saint said, I remember watching Colin Furs making Wolverine claws. I'd love to make them. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Matt said, Mike, did you get many haters in the early days of your channel? I totally agree with helping beginners. No, you know what? I never really have had a load of haters, really. Not like loads. No, most of it tends to be if there ever becomes issues, it always tends to be people who keep constantly doing really dodgy shit and sending me really dodgy messages, and then I have to keep telling them to stop it, and then they get funny when they get blocked because I end up having to block them because I can't be dealing with weird dodgy messages on my computer. You know what I mean? Or a similar thing, just people who are just fucking mental cases basically. But no, I don't really get a lot of it, not that I know of. Saying you're right, mate. Yeah, he said hello, fellow dossers. Richard said to Stu, yeah, bet George would do a response video where he commands his simps to go over and harass him like this adversity does. Yeah, it was such a shame. I just thought, I can't leave seeing shit like that. You right, Stug? How you doing, mate? So yes, hopefully I should have a fucking brilliant video coming on here soon for the little clips. I've asked the person if they'll let me use the video. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the little bit that I want, and then to give them a shout out, I'm going to put a little bit of one of their videos on the end. So you'll see the funny bit, and then you'll see a little bit just saying courtesy of blah, blah, blah. So they get a shout out every time I play it. Gas Goblin said, did you watch 71 last night? It's one of the best movies I've seen. It's definitely Island. No, I haven't seen that, but I know the one you're on about. Yeah, yeah. I know which one you're on about, though. What's his name? Jack Connell or something? Yeah. Lord Flashlight says, Mike turns all the extreme weirdos that follow with the mods. Put them to work. There you go. Might as well, ain't you? Best thing for them. You know what they're up to. You know what they're up to then. Steve, right, mate? He said, just came outside for a dinner break. It's far too hot. Are you selling your accessories yet, buddy? Not yet. I went to the doctor's today about my side. I might have to. It will be soon, put it that way. Hopefully within about a week, this pain should be completely gone. And then I could start working on light things in the shed. I'm man Spartan. I'm not a dosser or unemployed drinker. With every excuse in the book. That way. Got to have the excuses at least. Well, I just claim I'm working right now. I don't get paid. And like Saint said, I think I have a rat problem in my garden. So after the stream, I might have to remaster American Sniper. Steve said, ideal. I'm after a few things, mate. Yeah, I should be sorted soon. Yeah, yesterday I rang up 111, which is like your slightly more emergency thing. Put it this way, I'll tell you how bad I felt yesterday. I think it was just a random combination of things, though. Yesterday I felt so bad, I rang up 111 and packed a fucking bag, expecting to be told to come straight down to the hospital and stay there. Yeah, that's how bad I felt yesterday. But I think it was just a combination of dehydration, been sitting weird, because my side hurts more if I sit forward a lot. But I've noticed that's going now. At one point, if I sat in this chair for too long, my fucking guts would start hurting. But I've noticed last couple of days it isn't really. Top hat, man, you're right, mate. We got the same amount on today as we do on the weekend. I didn't expect that. I must have come on at just the right time. Yeah, Steve said, ideal, I'm after a few things. I'll sort you out soon. There are some things. Right, Steve, get hold of me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram if you want to do like a instant messenger thing. And depending on what you want, I have actually got quivers ready, certain broadhead bolts ready. It's just the bayonets, really. I've got slings ready. Iron Man said, I'm going to buy one of those aircon fans. This heat is murder. Yeah, it's nightmare, isn't it? If you want, yeah, it's probably the same thing I'm thinking of, Iron Man. Is it like a little box thing? And it's actually got like proper, like a cold element in it. They're pretty cheap for what they are. If not, Iron Man, let me know. Message me, email me somewhere and say, Mike, what was that thing you was on about? And I'll send you the link to the thing, and then you can look for other ones. But yeah, if I think you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking about, it's like a box, isn't it? And it's actually got like a cold element in it. You put water in, and it actually has a cold element that it blows the fan through. That's applied me. Hospital bug out. You must have been here. No, I thought I was going to have to do an operation. I was going to have to stay in there. So I packed like a power bank, charger for my phone, put a couple of games on my phone just in case. Yeah. Alex saying, so I'm planning on making some sort of knife out of some metal, but lost my guard on the grinder. I might be slightly thick in some areas, but I'm not a complete tool. Yeah, always be careful with shit like that, mate. I wouldn't take the guard off unless I absolutely had to. And I'd be, I'd have full fucking, Steve said, I spent a month in a coma last year with double pneumonia. It all started with a little side pain. Well worth getting checked. Yeah, well, I've been to the doctors today. He reckons I've torn a muscle in my side. Yeah, I'm glad you're right, Steve. That does not sound good. Yeah, my mum had pneumonia last, was it? Yeah, the very end of 2020. She had pneumonia, and I thought I was going to lose my mum and dad in the same fucking year. That was not fucking fun, I tell you. Iron Man said, yes, Mike, that's right. Now, I might get one of them as well, Iron Man. They look pretty good for what they are, and they're reasonably priced, don't they? Smithim said, put a bowl of ice water in front of a normal desk fan. That'll soon cool you down. I did try that, but I think, because I'll be honest with you, I find a fan works reasonably well for me. No matter how hard it is, a fan is good enough. Like, it's better than nothing anyway. But yeah. But yeah, I have tried the ice bottles in front. Top Hat Man said, what games are you playing on your phone? Well, I don't normally play them on there, but I thought just in case I'm bored shitless, I just put on one of them fucking Candy Crush sort of puzzle games and some, I'll tell you what they're called. But it was just I'd played Candy Crush before. The other one's called Tiny Room. I just thought, as long as I've got something on my phone, because I ain't got the internet on my phone, like paid for internet, so I wouldn't have no Wi-Fi, so I had to have the game on it. Peter, that's the things you want is a knife getting thrown back at you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, last thing you want. Exactly, Pete. That's why now, I don't know if you'll notice, but I wear a full face visor and my leather apron, I made an extra flap so it comes right under my neck. So the leather apron comes to here and the visor comes to here. But otherwise, you have a gap here. Well, Slad Dan, you right, Dan? How you doing, mate? My man said, imagine doing chemical warfare training this. Yeah, you imagine. Fucking hell. Yeah, or any of that kind of shit. It'd be horrible, wouldn't it? I'm all right, Dan. I've been to the doctors today. My side kept hurting. It's from an injury. It's a long story, but I sort of knew where it would come from. If that makes sense. I'm going to put off by a comment. But yeah, I went today and he reckons what I probably did originally, like the third time it came back, second time it came back, he reckons I probably ripped a muscle, torn a muscle originally. And now when I do certain things, it flares it up. Pete said, about to set up my evaporative cooler today. Nice one. Steve said, my wife and kids got the dreaded call to come see me because they thought I was a goner. Managed to pull through and make a fullish recovery. Glad it isn't so serious. Glad you're all right, Steve. That sounds absolutely terrible. Top Hat Man, what did you mean there? I will read that out. I don't think he means that as an insult. He said, "What chair are you using?" I don't know what the actual chair I'm sat on. Just a cheap old office chair. Welsh Dan said, "What you been up to?" Not. I'll be honest, not a lot, Dan, because of this pain in my side I kept having. I really wasn't doing a lot. To the degree where I was hardly doing anything at home as well. The fucking kitchen is a shit tip because I'm the only one who does it, and I couldn't get around to doing it. Dad said, "What was the doc's face like when you told him how he did it?" Well, he took it completely normally, which surprised me. But I did think maybe it's because he was an old 75-year-old Indian man. He probably just, I don't know. But I actually told him I said, I make swords. And then to test the swords, I cut bottles with it. And then I'd spin it. Or do you mean the TV bit? I told him both. The original injury. that one, he didn't react to either of them, but I did wonder what he was going to, you know, what that's, because I thought there's no point lying, because as soon as you start making things up, I could have said I was hitting a baseball, you know, with a baseball bat or something. It's easier just to say I was swinging a fucking sword. Iron Man said, any movie recommendations, Mike? I watched Polar the other day that Zed recommended me. That was pretty good. But I haven't watched many new ones for a while. You seen Tenet yet, Iron Man? Tenet. That's worth watching. Singh said, Mike, can you make magazines for pistol crossbows? I can. And I'll tell you what, now that I've seen people getting the red backs and taking that bar off, there's a bar that prevents you. If you leave the bar on the cocking levers, right, it prevents you having a very simple magazine. But I've seen someone 3D print a magazine, and they're selling them, and all they've done is took the bar off. So if other people are prepared to take that bar off, I think people will accept it if I do. You know what I mean? I didn't want to start saying take this bar off because it makes crossbow dangerous potentially, but you know, I suppose it's the user's own risk. But yes, I could definitely make a magazine for a Tomcat 2 and a Redback, because I've actually done it before. But the issue was that bar. What happens with the bar when you cock the crossbow? The bolt drops down. When you push it back forward, it pushes the bolt back out. So you either have to have a really high magazine with like 12 fireable bolts, but it pushes one out every time, or you remove the bar. But I can sing, definitely. They're quite easy to make for them. It was just because of that issue. Alex Saint said, I was working with a tree surgeon and he told me he knew someone who was handling a chainsaw, got kicked back and got him in the neck. Not sure if he lived or not. Yeah, you do have to be very careful. Chainsaws, 100%, you've got to know what you're doing with them. They can be very fucking dangerous. Top Hat Man said, yeah, not being rude, I think some ergonomic chairs and stuff can be beneficial. Some are priced ridiculously. Some are decent. Yeah, no, I've just got like a cheap chair. I break them a lot. I've gone through about 5 chairs. Now it's all good, Top Hat. I think one of the mods might have thought you was yeah, I you know what I mean. Or they was just doing it for my benefit, you know what I mean. Alex Saint said, are you going to do a £10 weapon build again? Well, that's still sort of going. I suppose what I'll have to do one day, Alex, is just I'll make another £10 weapon build just to remind people it's still going. Because it's never really stopped. It's just, you know, people can join as much as they want. I never really ended it. I technically have got another video I want to add. So I could add that, and then that might remind people that it's still going. Singh said, definitely get one. All right, I'll do it, because there's been a couple of people who've asked me, Singh. I could make them either out of Kydex or aluminium. Wouldn't be difficult. Yeah, all you'd have to do to make it work, because this is why the RX has such a complicated magazine, is because this bar just here, as I said, when you cock the crossbow, it lets the bolt drop down, but then that bar pushes the bolt back out. So you either have to have a magazine with a little switch on it, like that one. But funnily enough, how that works was exactly how I thought of doing it, but I didn't have the capabilities to do it. It's quite complicated, so I can't fucking talk today. But there's that comes off with just an Allen. You just undo the Allen bolts at the end. You can take that bar off. What I'll have to do is keep an eye on the other magazine that people make and see if anyone ever complains about the arms going out of place or something. And if they don't, that means I could make you a magazine for that, a quarter of the price or less than what you'd than anyone else would sell. Iron Man said Power Packs has a decent selection of crossbows at the minute. Dan said, why are you streaming today then? Just because I was up and in, and I was up. Well, I'm up. I'm always up by now, but I don't know. Just because I was in and I thought, might as well talk about what I've seen and what I've been up to today. Because I would have wrote Daytime Dosser stream, just came back from the doctors, but I thought the problem is if I write that, it's never ending. What's the matter? You know. Pete said, not a fan of Power Packs. Yeah, Pete had a lot of issues with Power Packs to the degree that you was waiting for nearly a year, weren't you? For they wouldn't send him the item Wouldn't give him his money back either. Yeah, Peter had quite a few issues with power packs. I think power packs can be good, but yeah, I think they can fuck you about a bit. Pete won hunt because he told me about it. Alex said, have you progressed with the telescopic walks? No, nothing on that yet. Nothing on that yet. If you not enjoyed the daytime stream, I don't mind whacking up a daytime stream in the day, 12 to 1 not most days, because problem with the live streams, people watch them, but they don't watch them back, so you only get the benefit of when people are on. You know what I mean? But there's loads of people on. Get a beanbag to sit on much more comfortable. I was supposed to. I never thought about that. Dan, you right, mate? And he said, now then. Just sat on the lunch break. So now we've got the lunch break, look, to watch us Dossers. You're right, Dan. That said, I hope you can sort it. A Tomcat 2 mag would be awesome. Well, as I said, I actually made one once, but I never bothered showing anyone because of that. I made it. It takes a day to make. I made it with Kydex and HDPE. And it worked and all that, apart from the fact that the bolt got pushed back out. Yeah, but as I say, I've noticed the other magazine that people make for the Red Bat is they just remove that bar. So if other people are prepared to take that bar off and buy a quite expensive magazine, it's probably 4 times. If I sold a magazine, it wouldn't cost more than the crossbow. Put it that way. Because that's what I find slightly laughable about some of these things. I could understand if the crossbow took if the magazine took 5 days to make, yeah, sell it at fucking 200 fucking quid. But the fact that they knock these things out in a fucking hour on a fucking machine, hour. Right, just so you all know, I'm going to have to go off soon because I've got to make my mum's lunch for her. Alex Saint said, saw some people saying that they want the British flag to not be praised as much as what the history is. This generation's mental. In fact, that is mental, isn't it? That's utterly mental. I don't know what's wrong with people sometimes. Yeah, insane bollocks, that, isn't it? And laughable as well. Steve said, I just ordered a Tomcat 2. It cost me 70 quid from Enfield Sports. Couldn't find one cheaper. No, you know what, Steve? You'll find them on other websites, but I think they're never in stock. Because as far as I'm aware, Enfield Sports owns the sort of rights to Armex crossbows now, or something like that. And are the only official dealer. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's something like that. And yeah, they put the price up a bit, but I'll be honest with you, I actually genuinely think that the Tomcat 2 is actually worth 70 quid. That's not the original price. They used to stand for 40 quid. But they're probably worth 70 quid, though. Top Hat Man said, what do you have in the way of gas masks? I've got Spaziani TR 2002. Like a 20 quid half face mask thing with those weird filters like that kind of shape. Like cloth, like a not in a thing. Thank you, Stug. Stug just donated. I'll play your thing in a minute. I've got a Nokia M61 V2, is it? The old Nokia grey one with the big nose. And I've got 3 others. One's a kid's mask, and the other 2 are just sort of standard masks that Liam gave me, weapons and stuff, not free, but I don't actually know what they're called. Thank you, Stug. That was very, very generous of you, mate. Is there a message? Cheers, mate. I'm going to go over and have a quick look, just in case. Too many times people have left me messages and I ain't read them. Felt a bit guilty afterwards. Just a smiley face. Thank you, Stug. That genuinely means a lot, though. There you go. Someone's paid me wages today. £10 an hour. That's pretty good. I'll stay for a couple more minutes. I won't be on for too much longer. I'll finish people's comments. Alex says I'm going to head off. Going to go out for a walk. Actually, Liam's probably walking the dogs today. He does a bit of dog. Oh, hello, your mother. How you doing, mate? And he said, all right, so I will buy a Jaguar 2 crossbow. Which store do you prefer? Prepper Shop or Springfield? Well, I've only ever shopped at Prepper Shop, and I've always had, apart from one time they sent me the wrong thing, but I think that's because the two things was very, very, very closely worded. I think it's just an accidental fuck up, but it happened to be something I wanted to buy anyway, so I just kept it. Prepper's shop is always good in my experience. Tough out, man. So what's your mum's thoughts on weapons and jam? I'll be honest with you, the people who live with me just think it's perfectly normal. Just always been me and Mark. You know what I mean? My dad used to collect a bit as well. Nowhere near on the scale of me and Mark, but she would have seen her fair share of weapons, and with my dad, she probably saw some of the outcomes of using said things. I say no more than that, but yeah, they just find it normal. Yeah, it's you get used to it when you live with someone who does these things. It becomes like a normal thing. But you do have to be aware, though, to other people, it ain't normal. That's why recently I had to have like a council visit. So I had to cover that up with the reason I've got a great big 8-foot by 5-foot Uni Jack there was to cover that up. Yeah, Prepper Shop is good, isn't it? Richard said, about magazine pistol crossbows. Anyone seen the bloke who made them 10, 15 years ago? He had some of George Cultis accusing him of stealing the idea. Yeah, that's who I was on about, Rich. I don't know if you might not have been on. I was talking about him the other day. Stuart. Can't remember his name now, but Stuart, he 100% was putting pistol crossbow magazine, setting up pistol crossbow magazines at least 1 year or maybe even 2 years before George Sprav even mentioned a crossbow on YouTube. Yeah. And then, as I said, fucking, no one can claim they created the fucking magazines for crossbows because the fucking Chinese was doing it 2,000 years ago. See, so Prepper Shop is usually good, but like both companies, try Barrington Sports. Nice one. One of the council one. Just wanted to they'd want to do a home check basically. So yeah. All right, I better go off. Thank you everyone for watching. I might try and I don't know if I'll do a normal video today because this is on here now, but I might do a normal video today. I might announce the shooting competition today, potentially, but not properly. I might do a I might do a little bit of practice shooting in the garden and say sort of shooting competition coming up soon. But that won't be the official start to it, though. It'll just give people an idea of what's coming up. All right. See you later, everyone. I appreciate it. But yeah, I should be getting better now. Now, at least I know what's wrong with me. I don't have to worry about it. I just, rest up in it. All right. Thank you, everyone. I might see you in a video later. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. See you later.